Well, ladies and gentlemen, he did it. Last night, a wet and glistening Donald Trump announced his 2024 presidential run to a crowd of sort of bored people, quite frankly. That's one of the storylines from Mar-a-Lago, which we'll get to a little bit later. But a very different energy last night than in times past. Trump himself even seemed kind of bored with the speech he was reading off of his teleprompter. The crowd only engaged at a few moments. And remember that many people around Trump were telling him as recently as Monday, you should not do this. You should not do this after the results of the 2022 midterms. You should not do this after the realization that this isn't even really over 2022 elections until December 6th with the runoff in Georgia. And Donald Trump deciding to do it. Now, many of you will remember our friend Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, swore up and down to me, Trump's not going to run. Many others, even in my audience, were emailing me as recently as yesterday morning saying Trump's not going to run. He is running, and we are now going to have another potentially 2 years of insanity in the United States. Now, before we get to the clips, another aspect to this that I believe, especially with the energy behind Ron DeSantis, may be very different than in 2016 and in 2020, is that you are going to see the people behind Donald Trump, especially those who get behind him this early, on average, be even more extreme because there are now other options, including Ron DeSantis, who hasn't declared that he's running for anything and is already leading Trump in most polls taken after the November 8th midterms, all of which we will get to. CNN and Fox News initially covered Trump's speech live. They eventually cut away. We're going to get to that as well. MSNBC ignored it completely. I tried to cover it. We had technical issues, which I will address a little bit later. I got some really nasty emails about it, but I will get to that. But let's start off with already, just even the way Donald Trump was welcomed into the room was absurd.
Gentlemen, please welcome the next president and first lady of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump, accompanied by Mrs. Melania Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Okay, so just completely horrifying from the get-go. The most high energy moment from the entire thing was the moment that Donald Trump actually announced.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Okay, so the crowd certainly engaged there, but at almost no other time. Donald Trump was expected to go at the most half an hour. He went nearly a full hour and got into some of the same old tired stuff, including this completely bonkers dictatorial idea of executing every drug dealer like they do in China.
Responsible for death, carnage, and crime all over our country. Every drug dealer during his or her life on average will kill 500 people with the drugs they sell, not to mention the destruction of families. But we're going to be asking everyone who sells drugs, gets caught selling drugs, to receive the death penalty for their heinous acts.
Even that language is so funny. We're going to ask the drug dealers to receive the death penalty. Mr. Drug Dealer, sir, we would like you to receive the death penalty, please.
Because it's the only way. We don't need any more blue ribbon committees. I don't like to say this, and I don't even know if the American public is ready for it. And a lot of my people say, please don't say that, sir. That's not nice. They kill 500 people each on average. And if you don't do this, in China, when I was with President Xi, I said, President, do you have a drug problem? No, we don't. He looked like...
That's Trump's impersonation of Xi. No. So listen, this is a wacky idea. And again, not mincing words. This is an authoritarian extremist. He would like the United States to be even more authoritarian, but he's also a liar and a hypocrite because Donald Trump pardoned many drug dealers at the end of his presidency. So death penalty for drug dealers, also Trump pardoning drug dealers. At another moment during the speech, clearly gearing up for what is going to be a contentious battle with other Republicans. It's abundantly clear that's going to be the case during this new presidential run. Donald Trump actually sort of going after the Republican Party, but laying out a very bleak situation.
Much criticism is being placed on the fact that the Republican Party should have done better. And frankly, much of this blame is correct. But the citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through. And the total effect of the suffering is just starting to take hold.
You're going to suffer much, much more, ladies and gentlemen. But you can also vote for me and I'll fix everything, even though I fixed nothing last time. And this is part of why I think this time it may not go so well for Trump, but we'll get to that.
Don't quite feel it yet, but they will very soon. I have no doubt that by 2024, it will sadly be much worse, and they will see much more clearly what happened and what is happening to our country.
Yeah. By the time you get the opportunity to vote for me, Trump says, things are really going to be bad. Another kind of weird interlude and a strange thing to include in a presidential announcement, Trump saying again that we're going to go to Mars. At least he pronounced it correctly this time. Remember that viral moment previously where Trump said we are going to put a man on Nars. He at least got it right this time.
Human knowledge and extend the horizons of human achievement. And we will plant our beautiful American flag very soon on the surface of Mars, which I got started.
The crowd is sort of like, yeah, I guess so. Trump said he got that started, which is, of course, not true, a very weird thing. Trump also choosing to float a new conspiracy theory during this announcement that maybe China is the one that stole the 2020 elections from him. Remember, he's tried everything else. It was the Democrats, it was communists, socialists, Marxists, all of whom don't really exist in the United States. It was, Hunter Biden's laptop, whatever. Now it's, and this is very irresponsible, now it might have been China.
Many people think that because of this, China played a very active role in the 2020 election. Just saying. Sure, that didn't happen.
All right, like two people clapping. And what is becoming very clear about this new run, which of course it will be another grift run for Trump to raise money, is the strategy will be lie about all the things he supposedly did as president, claim everything was amazing when he was president, and then claim that, again, we need him to prevent things from being terrible, which they will be under Joe Biden, I guess. At another moment, I know, guys, it's you look at the calendar and you say, is my calendar right? Is it November of 2022? Is it almost 2023? And Trump is still talking about Hillary Clinton's emails, which he, by the way, pronounces Clinton, which is a whole other story. Yes, you would be right. He's still talking about that.
Including the raid of a very beautiful house that sits right here. The raid of Mar-a-Lago, think of it. And I said, why didn't you raid Bush's place? Why didn't you raid Clinton? 32,000 emails. Why didn't you raid Clinton's place? Why didn't you do Obama, who took a lot of things with him? Including the raid.
Yeah. So I know Trump claims to be religious, and we know that he's not. Maybe this is the Festivus airing of grievances that Donald Trump was doing. And he did indeed straight up just say, I'm a victim. I'm a very big victim.
Thank you. And I'm a victim, I will tell you. I'm a victim. Think of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Surprising to some, but not to others, Donald Trump did include portions of the transphobic sections of his recent rally speeches in his big announcement yesterday. Pay attention to something is notable about this part.
We were starting to really get it right. We will not let men, as an example, participate in women's sports. Is that okay? No men.
Now the crowd is engaged.
My people tell me, sir, that's politically incorrect to say. I said, that's okay. I'll say it anyway, if you don't mind.
So much like with CPAC recently, the transphobia and homophobia were the most interesting moments of CPAC speeches to that crowd. Other than when Trump said, I'm running for president, this was an hour speech. The crowd was mostly dead. They tried to leave. They weren't allowed. We'll get to that. The most interesting moments of the speech to the crowd were when Trump said, I'm running, and when Trump said, no men in women's sports. So that tells us quite a bit. One other thing, Donald Trump blamed the Green New Deal for all sorts of things. There is no Green New Deal. The Green New Deal isn't law. It's just a proposal.
Really bad. The socialist disaster known as the Green New Deal, which is destroying our country, and the many crippling regulations that it has spawned, will be immediately terminated so that our country can again breathe and grow and thrive like it should.
Yeah. The crowd maybe with tepid applause because there is no Green New Deal to end. The Green New Deal is a proposal, but the Green New Deal is not the law. So the crowd clearly confused. And then here's the end of Donald Trump's speech. The crowd just barely into it. Trump doing, a version of the same way he's ended his recent rally speeches.
We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America glorious again.
That's a little extra addition.
And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah. So listen, a very different speech than at any prior time. This is going to be a very different sort of candidacy for Donald Trump. There are options. There are strong options. There are many Republicans who are already sick of this guy. And there is a completely different dynamic in the United States with what the Republican Party electorate looks like. So this is only the beginning. We are going to be with you for the entire thing. 2024 clearly starts now, earlier than ever. The best thing you can do, make sure you're subscribed to our podcast. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and be with us for the coverage, and we will see where the country ends up. There are more than 3 million viewers of ours who watch the clips but aren't subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's a very easy thing to do. Parents in the audience, if you're like me, you're looking for fun, new things to do with your kids, meaningful, enriching, but fun enough to keep them engaged. Every month, our sponsor, Mel Science, sends you a box with science experiments that combine hands-on physical components with virtual and augmented reality. Learning science doesn't need to be boring. It doesn't need to be difficult. Many kids are hands-on learners who absorb the most through activities like these. It's perfect for homeschooling, ages 5 through high school, 5 different subscriptions to choose from: chemistry, physics, STEM, math, or medicine. Mel Science sent me the Chemistry of Monsters box, where you grow a black monster from sugar and make a huge foam eruption in a flask. But you're actually learning about carbon dioxide and unstable carbonic acid. We had a ton of fun with it. The VR components are awesome too. It is really clear how this helps kids tune into what they are learning. And my audience gets 50% off your first month. Go to melscience.com and use the code PACMAN. The link is down below.